Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakakodash. Double honors to the Apostles' Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim tuning to these videos. Alright, so the topic of this video is going to be on the two-thirds, of the nation of Israel and how they're trusting in Egypt. As you can see the picture right here, there's a young Jake, clean shaven. He's over here, at the White House speaking with Donald Trump. So I'm gonna get into the article, so you can understand what was going on. This article was posted on October 6th, 2019, near Karagma, and the title says, "Inside the Summit for Trump-Loving Young Black Conservatives," so-called black people, Israelites. Alright, so the article says, as a crowd listened to President Donald Trump speak in the East Room on Friday, chants of USA and 4 more years reverberated amid the gold drapes and crystal chandeliers. There were curiously no MAGA hats, but one woman was wearing a black as fuck pin on her gray suit. In attendance were some of the hundreds of young black conservatives who came to Washington this past week as a show to liberal America that African Americans can be conservative and support Trump, that the conservative movement is not just for old white men. So pretty much a gang of Israelites. Because in the article, let me find it. It was pretty much it was mainly the Southern Kingdom, but the Northern Kingdom was there as well. Jake was pretty much over there partying over at the White House. And that's our nation pretty much, trusting in Egypt, because America is Egypt, spiritually. It's all these wicked kingdoms. But this is the precept that goes with that. This is Isaiah 31:1 says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai." Because growing up in America, you can see it around you. How when you're growing here, how mighty America is. So of course Jake is going to cling to it. But pretty much, we have to flee out of Babylon. Because the Heavenly Father is going to judge this place. Because this is the place where we served our captivity. But Jake, being simple-minded, a two-third, just like a stubborn ox, or no, worse than a stubborn ox, is that they're going to cling to Egypt, and try to like settle their lease right here, try to make their rest here in America. All right, so I'm gonna read the rest of it. It says, "The media narratives is that African Americans don't support the president," said R.C. Maxwell, a 31-year-old Republican consultant. "We are happy to demonstrate that there is a large African American community that appreciates the job that the president has done." Pretty much the president is just doing the elite's bidding. He could care two shits about, the nation of Israel. Donald Trump actually loves the two-third nation of Israel. That's his favorite nation. He caters to them more than he caters to the actual men of the Lord. All right, so this is Hosea 6:1. It says, "Come and let us return unto the Lord Yahweh, for he hath torn and he will heal us. He hath smitten and he will bind us up." And so, the two-thirds, they're blind right now. They got a blinding, angel that's covering their eyes, so they don't even know that they're doing, they're committing wickedness by, pretty much, going to Egypt for help for all their want and need. Because we belong to the Heavenly Father. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll pull it out in Deuteronomy 32:9. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance." Because we're his people. Out of all the nations in the world, he chose the line of Jacob to choose as his nation. As Sirach 17:17 says, "For in the division of the nations of the whole world It says of the whole earth. He set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion. So yeah, I'm just gonna read with the main parts, but I believe I'm just gonna get edification out of, because there's a lot. It's basically just 2/3, having a freaknik over there at the Black House, or it's like at the White House. They came out proper. But if you read the whole article, it didn't take long for the 2/3 to start you know acting like 2/3. Alright, so reading this part of the article says, for decades we have been disrespected by Democrats. We have empowered their party, lined the pockets of the politicians, and gotten positively nothing in return for our blind allegiance and faithfulness, Owens said in her introduction for Trump at the White House. And so, this is very true. Our nation, mainly just the whole nation of Israel, we can't really connect ourselves with either Democrat or Republican. Like if we cling to one of them, like they're going to use and abuse you. That's a true statement. But it's a glass half full. Because the whole thing is all of America does that. Doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, Libertarian. It doesn't really matter what party you're in. This is because this is the land of our captivity. I'm gonna read this precept again. It says Hosea 6:1. It says, "Come and let us return unto the Lord Yahweh, for He hath torn and He will heal us. He hath smitten and He will bind us up." So the Heavenly Father is the one who put us in this predicament, and He's the only one that's gonna take us out, and not the Democrat Party. Obviously, that's been proven, and certainly not the Republican Party. That's already been proven, but it's gonna keep proving again. Let me see if I can find this picture. So there's a political comic on this. I'm pretty much like what I'm speaking on, Slovakia. Hmm. I wanted to use this picture actually. There we go. That's I'll use this picture. Doesn't matter. Same concept. We already know. We'll see. This is the March of Tyranny, and it says the global elite bankers. The person's getting hit by the Democrats. It says, next time I'll vote Republican. And then over here is getting stomped on the Republican. It says next time I'll vote Democrat. Because this Democrat Republican Party, it's just pretty much a scene, like a play, like it's in America's is this grand stage, and everyone's hooked into it. They think that just because they got kicked in the ass because of the Democrats, that the Republicans isn't going to do the same. So I'm gonna read that part again because I want to read this precept with it. It says, for decades we have been disrespected by the Democrats. We have empowered their party, lined the pockets of their politicians, and gotten positively nothing in return. And that's one of those things that was spoken about in the scriptures. Yeah, this is I'm gonna read Haggai 1:6 says, "Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is no warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes." And that's what they were saying right here with that Democrat Party, is they're pretty much they're wasting their time, so to speak. Verbatim, in layman's terms. But ultimately, like I was saying, the whole structure of Egypt is the thing that's messing you up, because the Heavenly Father put us back in Egypt. It's a good. I'm using this picture because it's got the pyramid. You know, symbolizing the global elite. Because it's woe to them that trust in Egypt. They think that they can have their rest here. And I'll go ahead and read this precept again. Hosea 6:1 says, "Come and let us return unto the Lord Yahweh, for he hath torn and he will heal us. He hath smitten and he will bind us up." So the only person that's going to pull us out of this predicament is the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Alright, so this is this is Micah 2:10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people." So whether it be Donald Trump or the next president, if he doesn't win this next election, that's exactly what it says right there. Is it pretty much they got their own prophet to speak on them smooth things. I'm gonna read this part again in verse 11. It says, "If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and strong drink, he shall be even the prophet of this people." So the 2/3 prophets, man, they're all over the place. All right, so I'm gonna read this part of the paragraph. It says, "The men said they both support Trump because they think of him as anti-establishment, and that the establishment has repeatedly failed back America. They say they reject what they believe is a victim mentality in the black community and proudly defy the Democratic Party, which they believe takes black America for granted." It's actually funny because the person who drew this thing, he's on the same hype. He drew a bunch on the same topic. But pretty much, this guy, he thought that, DJ Trump was going to be the man to do it. The man to drain the swamp of globalism. All these are the only Democratic sided people. Deep state, every other year he would put out another one. And it'd pretty much be the same thing, but then, the swamp hasn't been drained. Alright, so this is Jeremiah 51:6. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad." This is speaking, of the heathen nations round about, but also, the nation of Israel is drinking of that wine. And you can clearly see how drunk, the 2/3 nations is. They're the main ones sipping that wine. They'll be the main ones who will fight you if you try to take that bottle from them. This is Jeremiah 2:21. It says, "Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, holy, a rightful seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?" Of a nation that goes to Egypt for help. To cure their wounds that the Heavenly Father himself put on them. I'm going to read this again in Sirach 17:17. It says, "For in the division of the nations of the whole earth he set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion." So we belong to the Heavenly Father. It doesn't not some man, or a king, a ruler in this world, specifically from a different nation, namely Esau, Edom. All right, so I'm gonna read this part. It says, and then this is what I was saying. It was they were dressing nice so they can go to the White House. They shaved all that. Got the lineup. They got ready for their big date. At the Palace of Egypt. But then it didn't take too long for the 2/3 to turn it into a freaknik. And it says after the hotel. No, it's not like it says at their hotel. After the Trump speech, attendees pulled out MAGA gear, flags, and oversized foam hats while milling around and chanting. One wore a shirt that said Candace Owens is better than Beyonce. Some stayed and talked networking and swapping tips about social media, how to get verified, and comebacks to liberal arguments. Pretty much folly is set in great dignity. And this is those giant foam hats. Because specifically it's Jake. It's Jake that's going to be the one that's doing this the most. Like the story of this guy. It's a Jake. He says, man wears gigantic MAGA hat after people tell him he can't support Trump because he's black. Because of that, he pioneered, the biggest MAGA hat out there. And you can read his story. I'm not going to. You pretty much get the gist of what happened here. There's a precept that goes with it too. It says Jeremiah 5:26. It says, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich." And they're waxing rich with Egyptian money, Egyptian balm, and none of that stuff is going to be able to heal, the stuff that the Heavenly Father put you in, that the if you go to Egypt, they're not going to be able to alleviate what the Lord, did to you, which is put you in Egypt in the first place. So I'm gonna continue on this part right here in verse 28. It says, "They are waxen fat." Show the picture of the Jake right here with the big MAGA hat. It says, "They shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge." Yeah, so this is pretty much the end of this video. This video is pretty much, on the nation of the 2/3 of Israel going to Egypt, trying to alleviate the wounds that the Heavenly Father put himself. Alright, so that's the end of this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Harakat Kodash, and Shalom Akim.